Barrett-Jackson's 2024 Scottsdale Auction proudly featured an impressive lineup of original muscle cars, reaffirming their position as some of the most coveted vehicles in existence. Hi there, I'm Rick DeBrule, and here are your top 10 muscle cars from the January Scottsdale Auction. We'll start things off at number 10 with a HEMI Superbird, powered by a matching numbers 426 cubic inch 425 horsepower engine that was mated to a matching numbers automatic transmission.
Here comes another rare Superbird, HEMI, white, outstanding restoration. I've known of this car for at least 30 years. I validated this car 3 times. It's exquisite. Don't let this one pass you by. There's not many left.
I try to get down, what are you paying? How about $100? How about it? I try to get down $1 million. Don't pay to get down. Who get 500 and $500,000, 50. Now $150,000, $100,000. How about it? Get down 1. How about it? Get down 75 and $100,000, 25, 50. And 150 on the pay to get down 150. Now 75, 5, 2, $200,000 and $200,000. How about it? Get down 2, 25, 50 and $250,000 and $2.5. How about it? Get down $2.5. How about it? Get down 250 on them here and $250,000. How about it? Get down $50,000. How about it? Get down 225, 250. I had to get down $250,000, to get down 250. Now 75 and 275, 3 and $300,000 and $300,000, to get down 325, 5, 125, 550 and $350,000 and $3.5, to get down $3.5, to get down 3.5 and $350,000 and $3.5, to get down $3.5, 75 and 375 and $375, to get down $375. What'd you say? At 375 and 360, 70 and 80, 75, 85 and 385 and 385, 5 on a pay to get down 385. Now 4 and $400,000 and $400,000 out of it to get down 4 and $400,000 you want 85 for and $400,000 out of it to get you got 85. Now 400 and right there Shane's in the lead and 385, 400 and 400 and 400 and $400,000 and $400,000 out of it to get out. You can sell them and you can buy them. Go right ahead and $400,000 all through last call and $400,000 you're gonna miss it and $400,000 and a half. So $385,000.
Coming in at number 9 on our list is rotisserie restored 1969 Boss 429, finished in black jade.
Now here comes lot 1094, a 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429.
Oh my gosh. Now these Mustangs were not built on the regular Ford assembly line. They were sent to a contractor called Carcraft for the installation of King Kong. The magnesium valve covered 429-inch canted valve engine that Ford wanted to homologate for use in NASCAR. But instead of putting it in the Torino, they put it in the Mustang. They had to narrow up the suspension towers to get the engine in here. Don't even try to change the rear spark plugs. It's darn near impossible. And these engines are dry-decked. That means that the cylinder head and the block have no one-piece head gasket. It's all a bunch of little O-rings, and you got to get them all just right. But here we are at $375,000.
And we're not done yet, Mike.
Well, the boss refers to Bunky Newton, who was the head of Ford at the time. Larry Shinoda, who was involved in the mid-year Corvettes, came over, and this was his idea. Let's have a Boss 302 and a Boss 429.
Here's the original sales contract and financing sheet. The owner card is with it for warranty service. All original, 47,000 actual miles. Wow.
Striking in lemon twist yellow, our number 8 spot is home to a Superbird that received a comprehensive rotisserie restoration.
Lot number 1390, specialist update, 1970 Plymouth HEMI Superbird, rotisserie restored, matching numbers 426 HEMI, factory rated 425 horse, dual 4-barrel carburetors, hemispherical heads, black wrinkle valve covers, matching numbers automatic, sure grip, 8 3/4 inch rear axle, 355 ratio, 20,000 miles, only 50 since the build.
This is a remarkable restoration. Take a look at this, one of the last Hemis, beautiful, numbers matching, exquisite restoration. The bottom is as nice as the top.
We're going to show the chassis cam here in a minute.
Right, I had to get down, buddy, paying half $100, $100, get down. Who give $1 million? I had to get down $1 million on it. Look at that chassis cam. I had to get down $1 million on it. Here to get down 100, 200, and 200, now 200, now 300, and $300,000, and $300,000 out of it to get down 333, out of it to get down $300,000, and $300,000 out of it to get down. What do you want to pay to get down 2, 3, and $250,000, and $2.5 out of it to get down $2.5 out of it to get down 250, and $250, and $250,000 out of it to get down $2.5, and $2.5 out of it to get down $250,000 out of it to get down to get it all in, and $250,000, and $2.5 out of it to get down $2.5 to get down $500 on it to get down 253, and 253, and 253, damn $300,000 out of it to get down 75, and 275, and 275 out of it to get down 275, 5 on it to get down 275, and 275 out of it to get down 275 out of it to get down. What do you want to pay all through? And 275, and 275, and now 60, 70, and 270, 80, and 280, and 290, and 290, and $290,000, and $290,000 out of it to get down. I mean, you cannot find them better. And $290,000, and $290 on him here to get down. Go ahead, Shane. Right, had to get down. Kurt, go ahead. $290.
Matching numbers.
Now 300.
Superbird and Dave Wise. You just heard from Dave confirming it is what it is meant to be. Authenticated by Dave Wise.
$300,000 and 290s with Dan. Now 300 and $300,000 and 333 out of it to get down $300,000 and 3 to get down $300,000 out of it to get down to get all through. All down at 300 and $300,000 and 95. Now 3 and $300,000 and $300,000 out of it to get down 3 to get down 3 to get down 3 and 333 and 300 is bid and 325 and 310 25 and 325 and 325 and 50 and $350,000. John, I can't see you. And $350,000 out of it to get up. What do you want to pay? And 350. You want 350 and 350? Yes or no? Now 75 and now 400 and $400,000 and forward asking $400,000 and forward and $400,000 out of it to get down forward and $400,000. Go ahead, $400,000 out of 480. Now 490. Now 4 and go ahead 400 and Dan, how did it get down 400? Kurt, go ahead 400,000 out it.
One of two as option, 20,000 miles, only 50 miles since the build. Matching numbers, motor, transmission, HEMI Superbird.
We got 380 all the way up in the back of the muscle lounge, the front of the muscle lounge. You're out. How did it get down? What are you paying? How about the VIP box? I guess. How did it get down? What are you paying? How about it? Don't pay to get down to get a thing. Head to get home. How did it get down? What are you paying? How about it? 400. How you got 390 up there? Is that right? How did it get down? Or 380, 390, and 390, 400. 400 is bid, and 410, and 410, and 410, and $410,000 all through it. I have sold for $400,000.
The number 7 spot on this list belongs to a ZL1 Camaro that features extensive documentation and certification of numbered and coded components. It's number 9 of 69 ZL1 cars that were produced in 1969.
69 Camaro ZL1.
Well, when you look at what brings value to a car, you look at multiple factors. You know, you look at the looks of the car, you look at the performance of the car, the desirability, and then you look at the rarity. And I got news for you. This 1969 Camaro ZL1 has all of that. It's got the performance, it's got the looks, and it's one of only 69 ZL1s produced back in 1969.
So this car is accompanied by quite a lot of provenance. We have the original invoice, the manufacturer's statement, the shipping order, and at Fred Gibbs Chevrolet, there in the heart of Illinois, they were one of the primary dealers of these very limited cars. There's a letter from Fred Gibbs about this car and this VIN number verifying the car and its options as it originally came. Now this provenance, well, this is worth $270,000 because you want to see this to support the value of this car today and in the future.
Yeah, we always say hang on to the paperwork, or if it's not in the car, put it in the trunk as the case may be. In this case, the paperwork is so critical. And this one is a special one, the ZL1, that aluminum head engine. You know, this is a unique vehicle made during a unique time. Plenty of Z28s that came out of the Chevrolet world, but once again, only 69 ZL1s. closing in on $400,000 now.
Near the peak of the muscle car era, an extremely rare special order machine in exceptional restored condition. That rings the bell.
$450,000 makes it the #2 sale of the day and the auction.
Are you enjoying watching this list of the top 10 muscle cars from the Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale auction? Well, if so, go down to like and subscribe so you can come back for more. Now, tied with number 7, at number 6, we have a 1970 Chevelle SS. But this one's special. It's an LS6 certified by Jerry McNeish.
Okay, here comes another hit. A 1970 Chevelle SS LS6 convertible.
And here's Jerry McNeish.
Original engine, transmission, and rear axle. Rick Nelson of Muscle Car and Concepts restored this car. He never missed any detail on it. It's the nicest one in the country, and at this point in time, between Rick and myself, we don't know of any other LS6 convertible with the complete original drivetrain. Don't miss out on this. It's the best of the best.
So it's been interesting what we've seen come across the block. Some spectacular resto mods, beautiful custom vehicles. Now we're into originality. A 1970 Chevelle SS LS6, the top of the heat, the big engine that came across in this 1970 Chevelle. And as you heard Jerry McNeish say, this one may be the only convertible with its original engine.
And look at some of the detailing, the original part number of the radiator hose, the original type clamps. Everything about this is restored to be exactly the way it left the factory and rolled into the showroom 50-some years ago.
Yeah, and Jerry McNeish not only has a report that accompanies this, they also have a thumb drive with more than 5,600 photographs documenting the entire restoration of this 1970 Chevelle.
1970 was the pinnacle of the first muscle car era. It was not the end. Detroit kept building and selling high performance all the way right up until the big gas crisis of 1973, when suddenly everybody wanted fuel sippers. But the top of the mountain was right here, 1970.
Well, the top of the mountain for that era. Little did we know we'd come back and blow past the horsepower numbers that we thought were big, those 450 numbers that we'd see in these engines. And now we've got even more that comes out of Detroit.
Sold at $450,000, and with that, it's time to sell a great car for a worthy cause.
As luck would have it, this 1965 Shelby GT350, known as Triple Nickel because its 555 Shelby serial number, actually comes in at number 5 on our list.
This is a very special Shelby GT350 from 1965. Delivered new in Albany, New York, owned by Hugh Westlake, who raced it at Lebanon Valley Dragway. Sold to Austin Craig, co-founder of the Shelby Club, then to Dale Phelan in Longmeadow, Mass., a vintage racer and Craftsman truck team owner. It's had several owners since. Fully documented history and provenance of the car they call the Triple Nickel because its serial number is 555.
And what's interesting about this car is they didn't race it, but they used it as a pit car during races.
Fancy stuff, and $475,000 takes it to its new home.
Coming in at number 4 is a big tank Corvette powered by an L79 327 cubic inch, 350 horsepower engine that was mated to a 4-speed manual transmission.
A 67 Corvette. This one a 327 350.
And here's Roy.
There is not another 67 big tank car in existence. The second car is documented to have been destroyed. One of two to start with. You're looking at one of one today. And it's perfectly restored, has every award that you can get. 350 horse, air conditioned, great car.
So with air conditioning, this one likely was not headed for the racetrack, but maybe for long-distance touring. We don't know its full history, but we do know how it was born and with what options, because this car includes the original Corvette order, confirming all of the options matching to this vehicle identification number, including the N03 36.5 gallon tank, one of two ever built, the only one to survive.
And once again, desirability, rarity, all those things that you want in a car. It's a 1967, the last year, and boy, look at the number we're getting on this one.
This car is also a recipient of the Zora Arcus Duntov Award of Excellence for the National Corvette Restorers Society.
Yeah, and they also point out it's got the original Corvette order copy that confirms the factory options, most specifically that big tank.
You won't just be the only one in your block. You'll be the only one in the world with one of these 67 tankers.
We're closing in on the #1 sale of the day at this number.
One of one, the last one around. Help yourself, Scottsdale. Make some noise.
I think that bidder will go there if he has to. He looks committed. Didn't have to. $500,000 takes it.
Time for our top 3 on the muscle car list, and number 3 is a 1971 Hemi Cuda with a confirmed matching numbers 426 cubic inch Hemi and a torque flight transmission.
Here's a 71 Hemi Cuda from the Teagues collection.
Well, the 71 Cudas are way rarer than the 70s. I think only 107 coupes like this one were built and 7 convertibles. That was it.
And adding to the value is down the side. Yeah, that Hemi engine's really important, but this billboard right here, this was really difficult to put on at the factory. After a while, they said, we're just not going to do it anymore. So if you've got an original billboard car, that adds to the value as well.
Highly optioned cars, super trackback, light group, rally gauge cluster, that white interior console, torque flight automatic transmission. And the color, don't call it plum crazy, Dodge did that, call it inviolate.
Look at this number, $445,000 for 50. You're looking at the new top seller. Who'll be the last man standing, or woman? This is ideal. Competing bidders.
One of 107. How few are left and how few in this condition? $500,000 bid.
And who was that bidder at the upper right? That was one Craig Jackson, who is now out of the competition.
I thought we were at the end at $500,000. We're not done.
Now there's still a couple of bidders who really want it. The applause tells you everything you need to know. $525,000.
Time for our top 2, and it's a tie. In fact, tied with number 1 on our 10 best list is a 1967 Yenko Super Camaro, which began its life as one of just 1,138 L78 375 horsepower examples built, and then it was upgraded to a Super Camaro 450.
Yenko Supercar 427 Camaro from 1967, one of 54 built.
Yeah, we've talked about Don Yanko and what a great driver he was. I think he won 4 SCCA national championships. He raced at Le Mans, raced at Daytona. And then he decided to say, you know what, let's take what I like, the performance, and make some money off it. Went to his family's dealership in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. Initially, they started as a shop where you could buy parts, then they could install them, or you could buy them separately, and eventually it became the Yanko Specials.
$550,000.
And previously owned by Academy Award-winning actor Nicolas Cage, our #1 spot, well, it has to go to this 1970 Plymouth HEMI Cuda.
Lot number 1400, specialist update. Nicolas Cage's 1970 Plymouth HEMI Cuda. Provenance on this car is incredible. Past ownership by the Academy Award-winning actor Nicolas Cage. This is a triple black 70 HEMI Cuda, 426, 425 horse HEMI engine with a 4-speed transmission, super track pack, Dana axle. Dave Wise is on the stage with us here. This is lot 1400, Nicolas Cage's Plymouth HEMI Cuda.
All right, to get down, what are you paying? How about it on it? How about it to get down 500 and 500,000 on it? How about it to get down 500 to get down 500,000 on it and 500,000 on it? How about it to get down 150, 800 now half, a 1.5 half on it. Pay to get down 1.5 down to 2, a 152 and 200,000 on it. How about it to get down 2 on it? To get down 200 and 200,000 on it and 250 and 250,000 on it. How about it to get down what do you want to pay to get down 2.5 down it? How about it to get down 2.5, 3 and 3 and 300,000 on it down to 350 and 3.5. You want $3.5 down, but to get down 4 and 400,000 on it and 400,000 on it, 450 and 450,000 on it. You want to be 450 and 450, 500 and 555 and 555 and 555 and 500 now half, a 5.5 down to get down quarter half and 525, 550 and 5.5 and 5.5 down, but to get down to get this thing I did to get down road away right head to get down Kurt 550.
It is certified as a matching numbers car and drivetrain. Got the correct factory marking stampings. It's in the Chrysler registry. Number 128 of the 70 HEMI Cudas built with 4-speed.
50, 75, and 575. Junior's in the lead, and 575, and 550s with JR. Now 75 and a half. Sold $550,000. Junior.
Well, thanks for tuning in to our top 10 muscle cars from Barrett-Jackson's 2024 Scottsdale Auction. Don't forget, click below to like and subscribe, and that way you can see all of the Barrett-Jackson auction action.